Today what I'm going to talk about are the 13 things you guys might have missed in the official trailer for It. So in no particular order, here we go. Number 13. In the room where Richie's character is surrounded by clown dolls, a room that is most likely contained within the house that has the address of 29 Neibolt Street, you can see two separate shots in this room that a 1990s Pennywise miniature doll appears to be hanging out on the left side of the screen, referencing Tim Curry's character from the original It. Number 12. You can spot a lot of floating red balloons throughout these 2 minutes, but my favorite place where a floating red balloon appears would have to be at the beginning of the trailer, as you can see a red balloon floating next to the Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema logo. Number 11. The rebooted version of Pennywise is played by Bill Skarsgård, who is 6'4" in real life, meaning that in this shot it's probably his actual height. And knowing this, his height is going to make his appearance in the film much creepier, as he's going to be towering over these kids. In fact, when he's grabbing what appears to be Bev in this shot, he looks as tall, if not taller, than the door frame. Number 10. The director claimed that he wasn't going too deep into the mythology of the losers and how they are brought together, and that we shouldn't expect to hear too much about the turtle. And the turtle is a connection between this film and other novels by Stephen King, such as Dark Tower. However, it was said that the turtle will be making an appearance, but in Lego form, in a crucial moment in the story. In the scene where Bill's little brother runs by, Bill drops a Lego set, and judging by the green color scheme of the Lego pieces, it is definitely that turtle. Number 9. Most people are comparing this trailer to the same 1980s vibe that Stranger Things and Turbo Kid has given to us. Even though the original It took place in the 1960s when the main characters were kids, they decided to place the kids in the 80s instead of the adults. Most of the production team made this decision after following King's advice that he only writes what he knows. So the team wanted to create a world in a time period that they were more familiar with. Number 8. Muschietti also mentions that the blood coming out of Beverly's toilet will not be subtle, but instead be a huge geyser, which can be seen forming right here, which was a practical effect, so all the fake blood that you're seeing was actually there on set. Number 7. It was also said that Pennywise has a lot of spit, as Bill's prosthetic teeth make him salivate immensely, and they wanted to incorporate this into the story somehow. So we will see some of the kids covered in slime like at this point in the trailer. I think it's a smart idea, as mostly the reason why he tortures kids is to eat them, so it makes sense that he'll be salivating a lot. Number 6. As Bill is walking through the hallways, you can now see the entire group of bullies. The bully to the left is Patrick Hockstetter, the same Patrick that will appear on Missing Signs later in the movie. Number 5. It looks like Patrick and Henry and other bullies are torturing Ben within this scene. As the old couple drives by, they simply stare and do nothing. As the red balloon appears in the back, it further implicates that it could be utilizing his shape-shifting capabilities, and it was mentioned that we will be seeing it more as a shapeshifter in this film rather than the clown. Number 4. Speaking of Henry holding a knife to Ben, did anyone see that Ben was pretty much bloodied up in this shot? Henry would probably not have done that much damage to him, and it looks like he received this after an encounter with it, but we still don't know. Number 3. There is a 30-foot tall Paul Bunyan statue looming in the background as Mike starts explaining that his grandfather told him that he thinks the town is cursed, and that all bad things happen in this town because of one thing. In the backstory of It, we are informed that Pennywise had pretty much everything to do with the massacres and huge death tolls in the town since the early 1900s. Like you can see in these newspaper headlines that involve the explosion that leads to the death of 88 children and 5 people murdered in broad daylight. Because what other shape-shifting monster wants to kill 88 children and has the ability to murder people in broad daylight? Number 2. In this tunnel where Pennywise appears to be waiting at the end of, it gives me a very unsettling vibe, and not because there's a killer clown waiting at the end, but mostly because when looking at the walls of this tunnel, you can see what appears to be claw marks from Pennywise's previous victims. Number 1. Speaking of the rest of the abandoned areas and pipelines Pennywise lives in, there is a shot where it retreats in a well. Surrounding the well are a bunch of objects that look as if they are toys, clothing, and other belongings from children that it has taken. So those were my top 13 things that you guys might have missed when first viewing the official It trailer. And if you guys like this video, please subscribe to see more like it, and I will see you guys in my next video over analyzing It.